Thank you for being here. First of all, before I even go any further, let me know if you can hear me. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Okay, thank you. So the things I want to talk about today on social media is particularly gearing towards how to treat your social media. A lot of people know how to use their social media well because they post great pictures and everybody's doing the right thing. But there's some things that you need to take away that's going to help you get better at your craft. And I want to give you guys a little bit of some ABCs about social media, and I'm going to start from A to O. So the first thing is authenticity. You need to be authentic with what you're doing. Everybody is unique, so everybody has their own story, whether you're a brand, whether you're a business, whether you're a corporation, whether you're an individual, you have an authentic DNA. So whatever you give has value, but you determine that value by what you present it with. So the next thing is the brand value. Brand value is highly, putting people in place where when they think about your brand, when you think about Coca-Cola, Nike, Chick-fil-A, great places, you will see that the first thing that comes to your mind is a great concept that, somebody built because it has value. So how you value your social media is how somebody values you. So if you post stuff on your social media that 2 days later you're going to delete, don't post it at all. Just because you don't know who's watching you that day, and you might either make it or break it because of one post or the other. It's happened to me in my real life. So I know what impact social media does, and this happened about 10 years ago. So I know what brand value does, and the moment you realize that social media is powerful, you can use it extensively. The next thing is consistency. I know a lot of you in social media are very, very particular, and you guys are thinking a lot about, oh, I don't have time to post. I have a family, I have kids, I have work, I have this. It's something that I've broken the code for, and I'm going to send you guys, before we go, don't leave. I have a lot of links to send you guys so that you guys can, start off the right way. And one best way to stay consistent is to keep posting every day. And one way to do that is by manually creating an automatic map. And what I mean is using softwares like Affy.com, which I'm going to tell you guys about, on how you can be able to create social media drive that's going to increase engagement. And what I mean is you can't be posting at 3 a.m. when all your followers are online at 12 p.m. You're just going to be losing, not because your post sucks, but it's because you didn't get the right number of people. Instagram works in hour blocks. If you look at your Instagram profile right now, or your TikTok profile, if you have a pro account, or if you have Facebook pages, if you go to the insight section of your page, you're going to see the countries, you're going to see the ages, you're going to see what time they are online. And also, if you have a website, you can link that to Google, and Google is going to tell you what time people visit your website. So when you use those specific timings, you are creating consistency, and then you're using an app to schedule those same posts at that 3 p.m. every day when everybody's online. You're going to see a lot more in traffic. Engagement is another thing. When you make comments on people's posts, keep in mind that somebody else is going to see it. It's not that they're going to see it and talk about it, but whatever you're writing, especially on TikTok, and this is something I've practiced myself, and there's also an episode on my We Don't Play podcast channel where you can be able to listen to TikTok advice. And one of the guys said that with TikTok, when you're making comments, and this happens on every social media, so that's why it applies to everybody. When you make comments on your social media, do not, and I repeat, do not have the thing of, or negative social media, people are, hating on each other. Be a brand. So whatever you're typing, whatever you're liking, you're expressing an emotion that somebody else is going to receive. And if you write the right thing, or let's say you write about a meme, like I wrote about, somebody was having a funny post on TikTok, and it was so in context to what I was thinking. And I was like, you're about to lose your job. And I put it there. And the next minute, people started liking it. And then just yesterday, I am DC Youngfly also liked one of my posts on TikTok, not because I have 1,000 followers and not because I have 1 follower. It's just because whatever I posted made sense in context. So you have to stay consistent. You have to stay on the target, which is what your engagement is about. The next thing is followers. The number of followers you have matters. You can have 10,000 followers, you can have 100,000 followers, you can have 100 followers. Those followers don't mean that you have access to $100 million, because you have all these followers. People will be like, oh, this person has this number of followers, I can promote this, promote that. Keep in mind that when you're doing that, you have to think about who their audience is. If I now decide to do a product and I find somebody who has 3 million followers in India, and they're a completely different scene talking about food, and then I'm here trying to sell classes or sell, fashion, it's not going to work because that audience does not meet my desire. So you need to be very specific on who you're trying to grow with, what you're trying to say, and who you're trying to improve with. The next thing is growth. Growth comes with consistency. So when you're consistent and you have a drive, you have a message, you know what hashtags to use, and I'm coming to that very soon, you can build that interest. The next thing is home. You have a homepage. Your homepage is your timeline. Your timeline is your LinkedIn profile. It's your Instagram. Everything that people see is your home. If someone comes to your home today and doesn't like the look of it, they're not going to stay there for too long. So you need to keep your homepage clean. You have to keep it branded. You have to keep it interesting. Keep up with the social media trends. Don't follow everything that you're seeing on social media because it's not everything is for you. Just the way you can't eat everything. So you have to build that. And that comes to the next point, which is interests. Interests are very, very big. You need to have the right interest that people can get to. And this is going for social media advertising. For example, if you have somebody that is trying to buy your nail polish, for example, and you think, okay, how am I going to find my audience? Number one, go to homefacts.com. Homefacts.com is going to help you, and that's also attached to H. Homefacts.com is going to tell you what area, zip code you're in, and it helps you to realize, okay, what's the crime rate? Are there schools there? What's the ethnicity? What's the compound value? What's the household income value? All those things are going to help you understand, okay, if I'm trying to do an ad and I'm trying to send an ad to Atlanta, for example, does that ad meet their desire or not? And how you can tell is by knowing, okay, what are their interests? Do they like going to Whole Foods? Do they like going to Popeyes? Do they like going to this bank? So when you figure out what their interests are and you see that through the insights, there's a majority that you can tell by reviews that you know, okay, this is where my audience is. And the best way to know your audience is by giving them surveys. Go to typeform.com, create an account, or everybody has a Google account. So you can also do forms.google.com. And for everybody that is here, I'm going to send you guys a link. Actually, I'm going to send it to you right now so that all of you can have all this thing that I'm talking about right now. I'm going to send it to you guys right now through the chat, and everybody can see it in here. Okay, so I've sent you guys a group chat so we can talk as we go on. I just wanted to send this to you just in case you wanted to check it out as we're talking. So job description, and I'm going to go really fast. Job description, keep it simple, learn to listen, make it catchy, never sell first. I'm going to get to that, and open discussion. Those are places that you need to be careful about so that when you're building your brand, you're not pumping them too much with selling, but you're making things catchy that they're also going to give value to. If you give your audience value, you're always going to get value back. So I'm going to talk about Facebook. When you have a Facebook, keep in mind that there are about 2 billion active users daily. If you get 1% of that audience, you will be just as great as your competition because you have leverage on content delivery. These are the best ways to make your Facebook pop. You need to have a Facebook page for your business. And why I say that is because your Facebook page, if you're selling anything, and I'm going to say this right now, if you're selling anything, keep in mind that when you have a Facebook page, there's something called a Facebook catalog on your business profile. And in that catalog, you can be able to turn it to an e-commerce that's going to allow you to shop on Instagram. So you know how people shop on Instagram when you have that icon on the side? To access that, you need to have a Facebook page. It's just mandatory. First of all, Facebook bought Instagram, so you can't finesse that. So get a Facebook page, make it look nice, make it pop, have a tag, and that tag is going to be your name, whatever name you want people to remember you for, like you have on Instagram. So make that tag into something like people use on Facebook. Then you can be able to grow. Another thing to get into is Facebook groups. That I can't stress further than what I'm saying right now. Facebook groups are one of the best ways to grow your social media. Why? Because you are giving people value on top of value. And this is what I mean. You have two groups. You have a public group and you have a private group. When you have a public group, anybody and everybody and their mama can get in there. And it's just great because that's where conversation starts. That's where you can throw ideas. That's where you can discuss about a lot of stuff. You're building a community. If you go on Facebook today and type in groups, you will know that there are a lot of groups out there that are doing exactly what you're doing today. So when you tap into it, don't reinvent the wheel, sorry. Adapt the wheel. So make your own and then push that wheel to other Facebook groups. And then the private group is where people can pay. Now you're gonna ask me, how can people pay on Facebook? First of all, people can pay on Facebook because there's Facebook Pay, but that's not what I'm trying to say. The most important thing about Facebook Private is that you can create a private Facebook group, and then that private Facebook group will now lead you to now creating a link that is hidden, and then you now take that link to your email list. So the people who go to your email list, and I'm going to get to that, it's called Flowdesk on the chat that I sent you. When you go into Flowdesk, people are going to send you, say, join my private Facebook group. That's the link that you created because that's a paying audience. If they're paying for your products, if they're paying for your services, whatever you're doing, you can easily give them access to your Facebook, which is free, but you've made it a paid avenue that people only can access because you have certain type of content going in there. And if you have any questions, please just write it in the chat section and I'll answer your question. The next thing is what to say. You have to have at least, and this is very important for everybody to listen to, you need to have at least 50 to 250 words that people can digest, share, and save. Why? Because people treat media and social media in three forms. There's the text form, there's the audio form, and there's the video form. If you have a video and you're talking about something, your text should be as direct and as easy to read as what you're saying. And then whatever you're showing them and whatever they're listening to is also making sense, because you only have like about 5 to 7 seconds to convince somebody. Even when you're in the supermarket, when you're picking up stuff, think about it, just count for a little bit. You realize that it's up to 7 seconds that makes a decision on whether you want to pick this red one or you want to pick this green one or this blue one. It's a whole mind process. So you need to be very careful of how you're treating your brand and what you're telling people constantly using AFI, you know, because let's say you make 2 hours of your day and say, okay, I'm going to make posts for the rest of the month. Now, whatever you're going to be telling them every single day at 3 p.m. that they're online, within those 50 to 250 words is going to make a difference or not, depending on how you phrase it. So there's a fact, and the fun fact is social video generates 1,200% more shares than text and image content combined. So please keep that in mind. It's very, very important for you to know that. The next thing is Google Forms. I just talked about Google Forms. And you can also use something called surveymonkey.com. But Typeform, Google Forms, and SurveyMonkey do the same thing. You can easily customize questions that you want people to answer. And then when they answer those questions, you will take that information and say, okay, people don't really like this red shoe. People prefer the green one because it has a stripe. Okay, how can I make this stripe accessible to all these other colors and see if people like them? So you need to be very creative with your brand, that when you're asking people questions on Instagram stories, Facebook stories, WhatsApp, Snapchat, wherever you are, even LinkedIn, you need to be specific. And those 50 to 250 words, the more you keep talking about them, keep in mind you're doing something in the back, and that's called SEO treatment. SEO treatment is organic treatment that you give your brand that Google's gonna see and tell you what you are. That's why some people get verified quickly, because they have consistent flow of information that Google can track and say, okay, this is their website, this is what they're talking about, this is their information, and they're verified. You're not verified because you're a celebrity, you're verified because you exist. You have something that is tangible for people to understand. So it's not about, oh, I want to be verified, or I want this, or I want that. It's very, very informative. You need to be very specific with your information. And then building a survey list and an email database where you can send out newsletters and build checkout purchases. I'm going to tell you guys about something called waveapps.com. And it's a great platform. that somebody said, can we write a book together? Speaking of books, I'm going to be talking about book reviews very soon, and you're just going to love it. I'm going to talk about that later. So shout out to you, Leon. I was going to talk about Wave Apps, and I'm also on Instagram Live too. I'm on Wave Apps, and Wave Apps is a great platform where you can easily build your tax forms, where you can be able to, as a business, you know, you want to be like, oh, how do I search all these invoices? I can't be typing every day. You can literally use waveapps.com, and that will help everything with your business. And it's going to give you a transparent flow of information, and it's going to track everything that you do. So you're going to put in your information, if you have a payroll, if you have anything, you can use Wave Apps. And by the end of the year, you can be able to track whatever you're doing. So you can even build checkout systems. So let's say somebody needs to check out and you're like, oh, I don't have a Stripe account, or I don't have this. You can use Wave Apps and create a checkout section that people can actually use their banking information to wire transfer you or use their credit card. And then you can be able to get that information out to them and do it in a very professional manner. So social media is just the gateway to your merchandise or to your business, because don't treat social media so much to the point where you don't have time for other stuff. You know, social media is just a gateway. So make sure that you're doing it right, scheduling in advance. That's going to help you build an automatic workflow. And then by the time you know it, a month is done and you have 50,000 people coming in. So you need to be very, very specific on how you build your information. Then I use, for emailing, if you're thinking about emailing, I use Flowdesk. And shout out to Emily. She really, gave me this insight about Flowdesk. And you can have unlimited, because I know when you pay for MailChimp and you pay for this other stuff, you have a limited number. But with this, if you click the link I sent you, it's going to tell you unlimited emails, and you can get 50% off. And within those 30 days that you get it, you can pay, and you can even take off their branded logo, so you can have everything that's cohesive for your brand. So, and you can do automations. You can actually create forms. Let's say you want to collect email addresses and you don't know where to do that. You can do that through here, and then segment them and then put them into your email list and build from there. Facebook Rooms. This is a good place. I know people know about FaceTime, House Party, Google Meet. Facebook has just introduced something called Facebook Rooms. And if you have, if you have this product that people have not seen, you can literally give people an insight using Facebook Messenger Rooms, and people can come in, see what you're talking about, and quickly give them an insight and say, hey, this is coming soon, instead of posting it on your social media and trying to be fancy. So you can literally give people exclusive information throughout Facebook and integrate that into your Instagram. Ads. This is a very important part I want to talk to you about. And in what I'm going to tell you towards the end of this course is going to help you navigate through this very, very well. So Facebook ads. Everybody does Facebook ads. And I know one thing. Facebook ads are somebody just said, email works best. Yes, email works best because email is the best way of communication. It's very authentic. It connects to your website. It connects to your brand, and it makes you, it just makes you feel better because people take you seriously. Like, you just do not want to be taken not seriously. It's not a good look. So Facebook ads, there are so many ways of creating Facebook ads. You can do Facebook ads for pictures, videos, and lead generation ads. Let me tell you what lead generation ads are. It's a platform where you can be able to get email addresses. And I know you're going to ask me, okay, how do I set it up? The best thing to do is to use Constant Contact. The chat section, I gave you a link. It's called Constant Contact. You can actually create an account and run a lead ad from there, and Facebook does the rest for you. All you need to do is pick your audience, know what time they are, where they are, what they're interested in. All that information I told you in the beginning, put it together, and then dump it on that lead generation ad. And then run it for like $100 for like a month. And it's going to take about $3 a day, and it's going to be on credit. By the time you're done with that ad, you might get 200 emails that you've never had before. Let's say you have no email access. You say, okay, I just started today. I don't have a brand. I don't have a logo. What do I do? You can literally use this platform, and I think you can also get a free trial, and then run an ad. And when you run an ad, you can be able to quickly get back your money in quick time because you're giving people value. You have a product waiting for them. and you've set up a social media channel that if they look into you and they say, oh, you're new, they're like, not really. I've been doing this for years. I've been doing this for months. Look at all these posts I've been doing for the past 1 month. You did not use your phone to post these things. You created the content, you put it together, you found the right hashtags, you found the right time to post it, you scheduled it, you let it go. And then you now go to your emails. The people that are sending emails, you're now automating them out to wherever your product is online. They check out and you're happy. It's not that hard. It's just that there's a structure, and the way social media is done, everybody's like, oh, social media here and there. It's not the best way to treat it, but when you use ads the right way for anything to do with text ads, video, pictures, have something that is catchy. And then make sure this is also important. Color is very important. So when you use color, use at least 1 or 2 colors when you're making an ad, because you don't want to have 5 colors sprayed everywhere, unless it's like a dance competition or a painting competition. But like, you don't want to have something that's very, very vast, because if you do that, you're going to be losing your audience sight. And some people, you have to think about people's minds too. Not everybody reads color the same way. So you need to be very careful about that. If you want to learn about TikTok, go to the link that I sent you. I believe it's there. Let me just check one more time. Yeah, if you check on TikTok and email in the last one I sent you, and you type in TikTok, it's gonna give you the episodes that, how to get better on TikTok. And there's something even better I'm about to tell you guys. So it's very, very important to realize that when you're using TikTok, you have to keep in mind that consistency is key. Some people get 5,000 followers in a short span of time just because they knew where their audience was, what they're posting, and how to post. And also on Afi, you can also schedule posts on your LinkedIn. So literally, if you have one data and say, okay, today I want to talk about this, you can post it to your Facebook group, you can post it to your LinkedIn, your Instagram story. If you have an IGTV, you can post it, and all that you can schedule it at once, one message at once to all these channels using one product, Afi. And you can do that and stretch it across your 30 days. Before you know it, you're doing that consistently. Your insights are going up. Now you're seeing new information about where your audience is, what time. It's going to keep changing. It's never going to be the same. But what's going to remain constant is how often people are going to search. And they're going to tell you people like videos, people like text, people like audio. So when you use all this information, you can build that attraction and then just start a whole new life. And it's a great process. I'm going to tell you about Instagram very soon, right now, actually. This is the secrets to Instagram that I have found myself. And there's much more I'm going to tell you about later. Now, this post you see here on the left is an ad that I ran. I posted it on July 2nd. And by the time I finished it 24 hours later, it had about 78 to about 80 likes. And I was like, let me run this ad. Let me see, because I knew I was going to be doing this very soon. So I was like, let me show you guys how it works. Somebody asked me about Twitter. Yeah, on afi.com, you can also use Twitter and post stuff. It's just a mind changer. It's a game changer. So when you go on Instagram, what I did with this particular ad is that I already knew that 25 to 34-year-olds, both male and female, are on my feed every day. So that gave me the biggest gap. And I was like, okay, I'll grab that, 25 to 34. Then I looked at my insights and said, okay, I have this country. So I broke it down to cities. And I was like, okay, Nairobi is number 1. I think there's Atlanta, there's Houston. And I was like, okay, I'll pick Nairobi because that's the biggest one. Let me just run it. So I picked Nairobi, I put it next to 25 to 34. Then I was like, okay, what do they like? Like, what are they going to look at this post for? And I was like, social media. That's all I wrote, social media. I put it and I patched it up. I ran this ad for $20 for 4 days. And look at the number I got. I got 3.8K. And that 3.8K is what is looking like right now. And people are still liking it. Not because I had a big post, but I decided to do this on purpose to show you guys that it's possible. Imagine if you have a budget of 10% of your marketing budget, and you now put like $10 in each of those ads and run them depending on what your campaign is for. You're gonna get the right people so fast, you're gonna get the right audience so fast, And before you know it, you're already building that interest, because you also want to keep in mind when you're running ads, you don't want people to look at your ad, see what you have, and then run away because you had nothing to post. So when you plan your posts and your stories in advance, you also have accessibility to hashtags, and hashtags are also available on Afi. You can literally search good morning and it will tell you all the posts that are doing good morning and in all the different ways. And keep in mind, when you're choosing what hashtags to use, always choose between 100K to 500K posts. Whenever you look for hashtags, go on your Instagram right now and type in the hashtag. You're going to see 2 million posts, 3 million posts. Even when we did Blackout Tuesday, that's what happened. So you need to realize that between 100 to 500K, your post can sit pretty on that particular hashtag and somebody can see it. And then when you run an ad, that hashtag is going to pop up because it's relevant to that feed. So don't just write fashion when you're talking about food. It's not going to work. So you need to be very specific. Your captions also need to be catchy. And the best way to do is like, I help blah, 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 do blah, blah, blah to make blah, blah, blah. Make sure that it's very concise so that when people are looking up for you, they can find more information, because you can't tell them everything in an ad. You need to be very specific on what you're trying to tell them. You need to have follow-up stories. When I talked about ads, I just talked about location, your age, the interest, the timeline, and the budget. So those are things that you need to keep in mind. And I'm just hoping that we can be able to all understand, you know, what Google Ads does for you. So Google Ads is another place you can go into. And also how to know what hashtags, I'm glad I said Google. Go to google.com/trends and search whatever you want. You're going to see what people are searching for. It's a very, very nice, you know, place to actually build engagement for your website and for your artistry. So as we get to this point now, we're halfway through the live webinar. Thank you so much for being around. Now I'm opening the floor to you all. And if you have any questions, please go ahead and ask me and I can be able to answer them right away. Are we all here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone have a question, or I can keep going? I just want to be sure.
I don't
have a question, but I just want to say thank you so much. It's a fire hose of information, and it's good information. And I am not, by the way, this is Ella. I am not, I'm trying to be better with social media, especially when COVID hit. It just kind of like placed us all in a place where, it felt like a fish out of water. But one of the things that I'm appreciating is like learning and being open-minded. And there's so many things that you've shared today that I wish I had known, maybe things that I was afraid of. Like, you know, you just don't know what you don't know. And now because you're I'm like, oh, wow, I wish I had. So thank you so much. I probably, not to hold up everybody, I probably will, connect with you later on some other, specific things. But I just wanted to say thank you so much for having this session. And
You're welcome.
I will try and as much as possible to spread the word to as many people. Awesome. Because I think this is a very well needed session.
Yeah, thank you so much. And also, by the way, this is also recorded, so I'm going to save this and I'm going to send it to you guys so that if anybody wants to learn more or in case they missed it, they can check it out, because information is key. So I don't want to waste this, so somebody else can hear it, because they were probably busy today, So thank you so much for, your feedback. I really appreciate it. So like even now, I'm about to give you guys something very, very special, very, very special. And just because we've talked about social media, I have much more to tell you in depth. I have so many things to give you, and I want to be very specific on how to actually, let you know about this. This is a fast track, self-paced online course. And usually what happens is people say, oh, online courses, I gotta be here, I gotta be here at this time. This is very Oh, I'm running out of time. Sorry, guys. So I'll be very quick. So the Fast Track Self-Paced course, it unlocks all the tricks, the tips, the hacks, the facts, and strategies on how to beat social media. And I'm talking about Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok. You know, all these things are going to be in depth. And I already have them curated for you. And I'm also building something that's going to be accessible very, very soon. So right now it's on pre-order. And because you guys have come today, I've been able to give a very special offer. And this special offer, I'm going to send you guys the chat in the link right now so that you can actually check it out as I'm talking to you so that you can see it and share it to anybody that would be interested, and I'll really appreciate it. So if you click the course checkout section, the promo code is today. Let me actually send it to you guys so you can see it. The promo code is today. And with this course, you are going to get access to so much information about social media. And the best thing about this is that once you get in, it's not like you just get in and you start the course. You get in, and we're going to have Zoom calls almost every week, depending on your schedule. And we can talk about stuff that you're learning inside the class. And they also have discussion points where you can be able to leave your discussions and say, okay, I want to do this because this is what my goal is. This is what my plan is. This is what I want to do with social media. I'm going to run ads, and I'm going to show you what ads I have done. Even the ad that you've just seen is going to be added on there. And you're going to see exactly what I've done, how to build this interest, and how to just take off social media, because social media is hard to maintain and manage. I manage clients' social media every day, and I can't be on my phone and, you know, I have to spend time with people I love, but at the same time, I don't want to spend too much time that I give away my time. So using social media strategies are going to eliminate and actually save a lot of your time, and that's going to improve on your budget, improve on your business, improve on your brand, and before you know it, people from all over the world are going to come to you. So just use the word today. You use the checkout, and you'll write in. As soon as you get in, we can have that conversation and just talk about everything. So if there's any questions you have, thank you also so much, Ella, for your time as well. Thank you, Adesela, for your time. Thank you, Mary, for your time, and everybody also that's also on Instagram. Thank you so much. You guys have been really, really helpful today. And with this information, I just want you to know that this course is going to skyrocket you to the next one. And it's going to be so possible for you to grow and learn how to actually do this the right way, because that way you know that, okay, social media is taken care of. It's new to me. Now they're trying to ban TikTok. There's so much happening every day, you can't keep up. So using social media the right way, knowing your top 3, especially YouTube. I'm also going to talk about YouTube and how you can use your YouTube better in this course. So within 30 days, you'll be so good that you don't have to touch social media for the rest of the year because you've planned in advance. Okay, July, it's hot. December, it's cold. You know what you're doing. So it's very, very monumental at this point in time to acquire this skill and build that knowledge. And before you know it, you're going to be a guru. So thank you so much for your time. I'll keep in touch with each and every one of you. And I really appreciate your time for coming today. This has been a success. I'm also going to leave you guys with this webinar, and I'm going to send the email to you guys. So I believe I have your email addresses when you signed up. So I'm going to send it to you guys, and we're going to keep in touch. So thank you so much. I don't want to take too much of your time on today's Friday. So this has been great. If there's anything you want to say right now, the floor is yours.
Thank you, and have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you too.
Thanks so much, Favor.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Great weekend.
Thank you. You too. Take care. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.